Okay, so recording is started. So hello everyone again. So today, let me show you the plan what we are going to do today. So mm, okay, so I hope everyone can see my screen. So today we are going to talk on SQL Server. I mean, we'll start with basics of database. We'll start from how to connect to SQL Server. Then we'll move ahead to create, modify, and dropping a database. So these are the very first steps when you start any project or MSBI or any database related training. And then we'll surely move ahead with working with tables. We'll create many tables. We'll establish relationship between them, and then we'll talk about some constraints like default constraint, referential constraints, and check constraints. And then slowly, this plan is not entirely for today. I mean, this is what we are going to follow. So let's see what are the things that we can cover today. So that we'll be doing. So very first step, as I had explained yesterday, that for like to do all this, you need to install SQL Server Management Studio. Any version is fine, and SQL Server Management Studio, I think you should be able to download it for free from Microsoft site. And once you download that, you can install it, and maybe when you want to practice it, you can practice on that. So once you install your SQL Server, the first step that you have to open that SQL Server. Once you type as a SQL Server Management Studio, you will be able to see here. This is what we are I am using, and any version you can use. It is all up to you. Okay, so it will take a while to connect. So today it is like we are going to do all practical. I mean, I'll give you some theories whenever needed, and I'll anyway explain everything. But let's start the hands-on thing. That I think that's the best approach when you learn anything. So that when you practice also, you will be more confident what you are doing. So I have SQL Server Management Studio 2018 installed on my computer. So if you want, you can install different version also. Now, when you connect to SQL Server, you will get a window like this, and ultimately you will get this window also, this smaller window. And then what you have to do, you have like different options. So currently you see by default, the database engine is selected when you try to connect to SQL Server.
No, Paco.
So anytime if you want to stop me and ask any question, you are free to do that. So yeah, okay. Now, so when you open, when you connect this, when you start this SQL Server, you will get this dialog. Here you have certain options, like you have option as server type. Sometimes you have a default option selected. Like most of the time, you will have default option selected. Okay, so that you have to select database engine, which is there, my default selection. And then server name, once you install for the first time, this will be automatically populated. If not, then you have to give your system name, or you have to give the server name, whatever you have provided while you install this. And then you have authentication mode. So this is nothing but if you have like different authentication mode. Most of the time we used to work on window authentication mode, and other thing sometimes we use is SQL Server authentication. So when you install your SQL Server, then Windows authentication is by default that you will get and you can use. But to use SQL Server authentication, at the time of installation, you will definitely get an option where you can create your login and password, and same login and password you can use to log in using SQL Server authentication. But for practice and for this does not stop you now to do anything, even if you use Windows authentication. So that's fine. We will use Windows authentication. If you see this is username, now it is like irrelevant. So now you have to click connect. I'll show you different components, what you get once you connect to database. So see, once you connect, so you will have this option. This is called Object Explorer. Let's say sometime, this is important to know, sometime your Object Explorer you are not able to see. So now you can't do anything. So what you will do, you will go to View and you will find this Object Explorer. That's it. Now you have like set of things here that you have to know. So first thing, when you see you have databases, so it is up to you what are the databases that you have to create. So all the databases which belongs to this server will be listed down here. Okay, so when you are working for any real-time project, so you will have already database created. But today, what we are going to learn is we'll start from the scratch, where we'll create a new database and then we'll move. Then you have security, server object security is basically these things we don't need to do now, because this is some DB activity, which normally as a database guy, you may not need to take care of this initially. Okay. And then you have many things, but first let's start with the databases. And this is the place where we are going to work the most. Okay. So the first step that what we are going to do is we have connected to SQL Server. Now let's try to create a database, modify database or drop a database. So now, like you have multiple options to create database. One, you can use this GUI. Other, you can use some code also. So I will show you both the way. For most of the things, I'll tell you how you can use the GUI and then how you can use the code to create your databases. So here you have to click new database. Then it is very simple. You can give any database name. Let's say I am giving a database name called MSPI. And then it is simple. You click OK. As soon as you click OK, you see one database that is created. I have some other database. Please ignore those. But let's say we have created one database here that is created now. Now, when you expand this database node, so what you get? You have many things: database diagram, tables, views, programmability. Like you see a set of things again here. And then again, what a database can contain. So database can contain all your data like, and those data again will be stored in form of tables or views. So those everything will be part of this database. So when you are working in this database and you are using this, so you can use this database. When you want to switch between your databases, that option also you have. So currently, if you see, we are in this database. Now let's expand this database diagram. This is also system related property that we don't need to use now. We are going to use tables a lot. So when you expand this table, you find some system table, file table, external table, graph table. But this is a place where we are going to create some tables. That will come to that point. Okay. But now let's see how you can create a database using a query. Okay. So for anything, like for creating anything in SQL Server, what you have to do, what is the syntax of creating a database? This is one of the way that I have showed you when you can use this graphical user interface to create this. Another way is to create anything, any object in this SQL Server. This is the command that you have to use, create. And then for database, you can write database. It is simple. And then you can give the database name. So let's say I am giving MSBI 2. Okay. As soon then you have to click on execute. So if you see, you have created this database. So are you able to see this MSBI 2 here? No. So what you have to do, you have to right click this and refresh. Now you'll be able to see one database, newly created database, which is MSBI 2. Okay. Now this is like creating the database, graphical user interface, and using the command. Now there can be scenarios where you want to change the database name. So how you will do that? So for creating something, you have to use create. For modifying something, most of the cases we use alter. Okay, alter is a command. So what you will do? You will do alter database. Let's say I want to change the name. So what I'll do? Let's say I want to change the name of this database. And then to change the name of the database, you have to use this command, modify name, and I'll give a new name to this. So I'll give this MSBI 3. Let's try to execute this. So what this will give you, at the end of the session, I will give you all this code so that you can remember and you can go through and see what we have done. Currently you see MSBI 2, but we have to refresh to see the changes. So see this database name, what it was before MSBI 2, now it is MSBI and this code 3. So this is this is how you can create databases and alter the databases. Okay. So if anybody has any questions, you can stop me and ask. Otherwise, so these are small topics, but yes, this all needs we need to know what.
Excuse me, what's equal sign means here?
This equal sign, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes. So this is basically assignment operator. So we are going to see this is name. Whatever you are saying in blue, I mean alter, database, then modify. Modify is again a command. Then name. Name is a property of this database, right? When we create this database, so we don't need to specify anything. The command is simple: create database, and then this is database name. And what we are going to modify here, we are interested to modify the name of the database. So we are telling modify name equal to MSBI 3. So this is a syntax. So this name is going to be assigned to this name variable. So whatever name was there before this command, now it will be changed to MSBI. So this is assignment operator. It always happens from you see right to left. So whatever is right side, it will be assigned to this one. This assigned to the name of the database. Okay. And everywhere, not only this, anywhere, if you use this equal to, in technical term, we say this as assignment operator. So assigning this text to this name. That makes this database name changed. Okay, and this is syntax. You don't need to remember this all the time, how you do it, because syntax is something that with the practice or with experience, you will eventually know everything. Okay, now I hope that answers. And then the next important thing, or next, why we are using databases, any databases. Let's say we are using Microsoft databases. We can use any databases like Oracle or databases from other company. But why we are using these databases? Definitely, it is obvious that to store some data, to store some data, to do some operations on data. So ultimately, it is a kind of repository, right? A repository of data. So where we are going to keep those data. So we should have again something. So now database is a big thing. Now, in that database, we can have different objects. So let's say before we move forward, let's try to drop this. Let's try to drop this database. So how you can drop? Drop means delete. So whenever you are you want to delete any object that you have created in SQL Server, that time we can use the command drop. What you are going to drop? We are going to drop database, and then simply you give this name, this database. So after I execute this command, now you see this database here, MSBI 3. Once we execute this command, this will be gone. So execute. Now you see this database. Still you can see it, but let's refresh it. And then MSBI 3, you won't be able to see it now. Okay. So this was the thing. And then let me save it so that.
So the drop and delete is the same equal meanings.
No, they are different in database. We will see when we move forward, we will see like where we are using delete and where we are using drop. But in this case, to answer your question, delete and drop both are not same. To delete any object, I mean database is an object. Now we will be creating some tables. So that table, we want to delete that table, then we'll use drop. In database, in SQL Server, when you say delete, so let's say delete we'll use, let's say you have some 20 records in a table. Now you want to delete some 5 records based on some condition. So in that case, we will delete. We'll use delete command. But here you can't use a delete command to delete the object itself. You always have to use drop. So that is the difference between delete and drop. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. And also, if you see, we have something before, because you asked, we have something called DDL, and then we have something called DML. Okay. These are the type of command where you will have more clarity what is drop, delete, and all. So DDL, nothing, data definition language. And this is data manipulation language. Now, so for example, we use this drop, like DDL will have create, DDL will have drop. So you see, we are defining something new. So create will come in DDL, drop also is a part of data definition language. When we say manipulate, then we can have delete, we can have update, we can have insert, we can have select. All of this we are going to discuss in detail, but just to differentiate it, this is how we can do. So Siva, I am getting a meeting alert that this free meeting will end in 10 minutes. So please take care of that.
Yeah, okay, you can join with the same link again.
Because the recording will be in different parts, right? Because when this meeting will stop, it will.
I mean, from tomorrow we can schedule a go-to-meeting where it will not end, or else we can find any alternative for that.
Okay, fine. Okay, so this was something about databases, how you can create, alter, and drop databases. Now let's move towards different thing, working with tables. Okay, so now we are going to talk about tables. So now, what is tables? Like, what are tables in databases? So table is a place where you keep all the data. I mean, if you want to create, if you want to store some data related to customer, then yes, you can create a table for customer table. You want to store some data related to a patient, you can create a patient table. Now, what is table? How to create that? All we are going to do the practicals. But and table is nothing in a layman term. It is nothing but the set of rows and columns, right? Any table. Now, rows here, rows are nothing but the rows are actual data, and columns is the, you can say, type. What is that data? Definition about that data. If so, for example, just see this. Let's let's say we want to create some table. We want to store some data related to customer. So what can be the columns and what can be the row? So for example, for a customer, what can be different things that we can store. So let's say we can store customer title, we can store customer first name, we can store customer last name. Then we can create something called email address, and then we can also create something called phone number. Okay. Now, so we'll have a table like this. I'll do the same thing in SQL. So let's say we have some data. I'll just enter one data, John. Some email, and then we'll have some phone number. Okay, so similarly, you can have other piece of data. But what I'm trying to say is, we'll have this kind of structure. Then let's say we have so Lena does not have a phone number for the moment. Now you have another John. I'll come I'm going to explain you something. That is why I'm putting this John again. And let's say I have this name. And some number. Okay. Now, when we store the data in database, so we have to focus on something called this John. This is John, which this data belongs to John. This data again, from the name we can say this data again belongs to John. But how we will differentiate this John is different from this John, which is yes, these records are different. So in database, what we do, we have to assign
ID or water number.
Yeah, let's say we are going to like in school we have a roll number. So similarly, let's say we need to assign something which uniquely identifies this record, right? So for this, let's say this is ID 1, this is customer ID 2, and this is customer ID 3. And this will be our column. Actually, name, you can have thousands of records, thousands of first names, and many of the first names will be similar. So in that case, it is not possible to decide the uniqueness of the record, right? To decide that, we'll have to have something, we'll have to design something in database which uniquely identifies this record. So let's say I'm assigning an ID, customer ID to John, 1, then 2 to Lena, and 3 to John. So this is clear that from this customer ID, we know now this John is different from this John. Okay. So this is what we are going to do in how we can make sure once 1 is assigned to John, now there cannot be any other customer with the customer ID 1. Otherwise, the purpose won't be fulfilled. Our whole purpose of designing this ID column is so that we can uniquely identify the record. And how we can achieve this in database, what we have to use, this is all we are going to discuss. Okay. Now, let's go to SQL Server. I don't know if someone of you know about data type, or I will explain. So how you create table. Okay. So I'll write some command. As I told, when you need to create something, you have to use create command. Then what we are going to create table. Whatever I am writing now is a syntax. What table you want to create? Let's say we want to create a table with the name customer. So I'm writing this create table customer. Now what I want to have, what are the fields or what are the attributes that I want to have for this customer? So let's say first attribute, as we discussed there, I want to have ID. Okay, then next attribute, I want to have first name. Then next attribute, I want to have last name. Then we need to have email, and then we need to have phone. Okay. Now you see this red line because this syntax is error. So okay. Now next important thing is data type. So what are the type of data that we are going to store in ID? So what we'll store? Normally we'll store an integer value 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So let's say in this case we are going to store integer. So this will be int. This is nothing but this data type can store integer. Okay. First name. So first name, let's say what we are going to store, only text, nothing else, right? So for that we have a data type in SQL Server called nvarchar or varchar. So let's talk about varchar first. So this is like variable character length, character of variable length, but we have an option to specify the number of characters, number of maximum character that we want to store in first name. Let's say we say 30. So the size of this first name will be 30. We cannot store more than 30 characters in the first name. So similarly for last name, again the data type we want to give this, and again we want to give the same. For email again, let's say same thing. So during the course of this session, we'll slowly use like many data types, but this is very first example when we are creating tables. So let's say we use varchar, and I want my phone number to be not more than, let's say if we want to store some phone number like this with hyphenated, this is a US format. So it cannot be more than 12 or 13 characters. So let's say maximum it can be 15 characters. Okay, so everything we are storing as text apart from this ID, which is an integer type. So this is the syntax using which you can create a table in SQL Server.
So so I don't know. Look, just email address like john123@gmail.com. It's both